folks at Pro Farmer had a difficult job this year for their annual Midwest Crop Tour. About 100 field scouts gauged corn and soybean crops from Ohio to Nebraska. Pro Farmer says trying to peg a final number with such an immature crop is tough, especially considering the variability and the amount of acres in prevented planting. Looking at just the crop tour states, the Farm Survey Agency says Minnesota has 875,000 unplanted corn and soybean acres. Iowa has 720,000, Illinois comes in with 353,000, and South Dakota 171,000. Probably the best way to understand those numbers and to see the actual impact on fields is from the air. Tyne Morgan took to the skies over Iowa.
We don't really know the damage that we have out here.
Yellow corn, bare dirt in the middle of green fields, and a clear definition of where tile line is and where it isn't. This is the view in northern Iowa this year.
This is just the edge of where it gets really wet from here on north up to Rochester. It's much, much worse.
Craig Schutte is a farmer, Pioneer seed dealer, and flies for fun. He's had a 1,000-foot view of this year's inconsistent crop since it got planted.
There's once in a while there's a pretty good cornfield, but there's no perfect ones this year.
He says by the 15th of May, he knew these productive Iowa fields were in trouble.
We can see where it was so wet that they didn't germinate correctly. It's you saw it from the air, so that pretty well tells it all.
While much of what didn't get planted is either overgrown with weeds or now planted in cover crops, it still paints the tough picture of what these Iowa farmers have endured.
Yeah, when we were out about 3 weeks ago, we were surveying, and we estimated that about 20% was either prevent plant or it wasn't growing between the tile lines.
If farmers needed proof of how effective tiling is, this year provided just that.
If you wanted to find your tile lines, it's a perfect year. You can probably see all of them.
And yellow spots are painted across these lush green fields, signaling nitrogen loss could also pull overall yield numbers down. While many of these crops look good from the road, the bird's eye view reveals the bigger picture.
Well, John, thanks again to Craig Schutte for getting us back safely from that aerial tour. It was definitely an eye-opener, but I think the biggest thing for me was to see crops and, corn growing on tile lines and then bare soil next to it. I mean, there was a clear definition where tile was and where it wasn't this year.
Aaron flew a couple days ago. He found out some things that he didn't know before he done that. It is an eye-opener to get up higher and get to that third dimension.
If you can stomach it.
Stay with us. Tractor Tales and our Country Church Salute are next.